Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We got some good guests today. I think they at least they're ready to hang out for a bit. You know, they came set up right here. But yeah, today we got the boys in Zetabyte. What's going on, guys?
What up?
Gucci.
You can chilling, baby. John, what's going on here?
What's up, man? My name is John.
That's my name.
Bro, I got this life juice, bro.
This life juice?
Yeah, this whole $10.
$10? How much? That's expensive.
God
that is.
damn, dude.
Yeah, bro, it's elixir.
That's the type of shit you would have to say if you're paying $10 for that shit.
And some monster trail mix, bro. That Target shit.
Dope. Turn that back around. They ain't paying us. I told you they ain't paying us. Turn that label around.
This video is not sponsored by them.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah,
Flores.
I play drums.
Okay, and we got
Junior,
Junior.
play guitar,
Vocals.
vocals, a little bit.
There we go.
Moo. Vocals.
You could tell by the way he holding that mic all smooth and stuff.
Music video style.
Music He's ready. Well, good to have you guys here today, man. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. I mean, like I said, I talk to you guys like all individually, kind of, but these have all been nice because I get to like just really pick your brains. Because like really like at shows, you know, the most you get is like, oh, you know, you guys play cool. Like, what's that new song? This and that, blah blah. Cool, let's go. But so we get to dig a little deeper. Yeah, first of all, like, how long has the band been going now, right? Because I know, like, the pandemic kind of fucked a little bit of shit up and where, like, shows and stuff like that.
Officially, I would say probably about 2 years.
Okay.
That's like when our first song dropped, 99 Neuro.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been probably writing the music for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Or so.
Who started, like, writing? Like,
So it originally started with me, Moo, and my brother Danny. He plays keys in the band.
oh, okay.
So it started with us as the bass members, and we already knew John. Like, John and Moo were in a band before we formed Zetabyte called Trials of Man.
Trials of Man.
And
That's
so
right.
we were already connected. So, I mean, we started us three writing, and then we kind of just added on members as we went, collaborated a little bit more, and that's where we've been.
Okay, dope. Yeah, because you guys, I think that's when I met both of you were Trials of Man, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think that's where I met Moo, at least. I think I met you maybe a little earlier. But so that's cool. So that you guys kind of already had that connection, and you guys had been writing for a while. You guys just dropped like a song not a week ago now?
Yeah,
Week ago? 2 weeks?
about like a week or two ago. Yeah, something like that.
A week ago. Is that part of like a bigger like project that you guys are working on, or is it like are you guys kind of peppering like singles like? Right
Yeah,
now?
so our first song we dropped, 99 Neuro, that song was kind of just a single. But we dropped two songs after that, the latest one being Chaos Magic, and that is part of the EP.
Okay.
So we are planning on releasing an EP really soon, and that's going to be a part of it. But yeah, we also released a visual for it. We've been doing our own visuals and stuff like that too.
Really?
That's kind of an important part of the band so far with this first EP is we're just pretty much full DIY. Like, we filmed all the footage for it. We edited ourselves. We mixed and mastered it ourselves. So it's like a full representation of the band pretty much.
That's cool. Like I didn't know like you guys did all. Who's all like I guess works on that like the.
So
Sounds like right away. Like I'm not taking any credit for this.
I mean, it's pretty much me and Moo who handle all like the footage and stuff like that. I do the bulk of the editing, and then we all kind of chime in and like kind of decide like what kind of vision we want for it and stuff like that.
That's really cool. That I feel like with bands starting off or even at whatever level you are, like being able to do a bulk of it on your own is such a like benefit. It's such a like a good like I guess just like power like attribute to add to your band that just helps like kind of run things a little smoother, because sometimes like that's working with somebody.
There's so many factors in a band. It's like, and it's all fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always fucking
at the end of the
money.
day.
It's like, what can we do to save money? What can we do to save time? Because when you rely on other people, that's other people you're having to wait for. That's other deadlines, and people get busy and shit like that. So it's like the more we can do ourselves, the quicker we can get shit going.
That's something I've learned the hard way, man. Like, if you can do it yourself, do it yourself, because relying on somebody will bite you in the ass.
A lot, yeah. It's hard to find the right people to work with, and the only reason you learn that is by working with them. You know what I mean? And then you still like, either you just put out something that you really aren't satisfied with, but because you spent the money, like, what are we gonna do now, kind of thing, or you have to like let that go and start all over and spend more money, and that's like not normally a giant luxury that like most of us have, especially to keep spending money on these things. Because that's a big part of like being in a band that kind of like I always like hated to think about it. It would be like, oh, like I don't care, like I'm just like want to make music, I don't want to care about this.
Yeah.
But then when you come to like, oh, like I want to record it, it's like that costs money. Like, oh, I want to put a cool video out, that's like that costs a lot more money.
Yep.
Like you're like every part of it is that. So like being able to take over and do a lot of it like DIY is definitely like the smart move, and I feel like you're starting to see it a little bit more where people are realizing, oh, that's a good skill to pick up to help yourself out, and then you end up like helping a lot of people. Like DJ is one of the ones that like started picking up that years ago, and now he's like kind of trying to dedicate a little bit more like full time to it to be able to record his own ideas. And I always like look at that man, it's like, man, I can write vocals and stuff like that, but I wish I could do that because this dude like has an idea for a song and he's like, oh, this is it right here. I'm like, oh, you can record it and make it sound good and stuff. I'm like, fuck, I can't do any of that. I have to be like, I'm thinking of something that sounds like this. Like, you figure it out.
And the more you can do that yourself, the more the band becomes a representation of you and not like, having a producer and they're making all the calls for the music. It's like the more you can take it into your hands, the more the band is actually fully you. And that's something that I'm proud of with this first EP that we're working on. It's like fully us, and
so it adds a bit of like an authenticity to it. As far as like not to say like whoever like works with the producers, but it adds, like you're saying, like it's just like 100% like authentic the band, because you guys are making the calls with production. That's one thing I didn't know when I went into like recording my first EP. It was like the guy recording was just like, oh, like we should do this here, and I'm like, I thought you were just like recording what our ideas were. Like, what is this? And then some stuff did get changed and stuff like that at the end. Which is still like, I'm not saying I hated all of it, but it was like, oh, like it still felt a little like, oh, like we didn't write all of this, you know what I mean? Like this is not the way initially that I had heard it, or this and that, blah, blah. So it's kind of cool that you guys get to record the music the way you want it, and then add the ideas you want, and it's like, oh, you can at least say, the song came out the way we were thinking it was gonna come out. So that's really cool, and that you guys can do that in house. As far as like the style that you guys kind of chose to do it, I definitely love it, because I've always loved anything that's super like rhythmic, and that's like, I don't know, I think what band was it? Was it Charles and Man? I can't remember. You had a song before. I know you were drumming, and I can't remember. I think it was just called like Black or something like that. But like the drumming in it reminded me. What band is that?
Check this out. Okay, check this out. That was interrupting the sequence.
Okay, that's where I met you. Okay.
And a current bass player in Zetabyte is Kyle, bro.
That's okay. I knew it.
So
okay, I knew.
With him too, bro.
Okay, cool. Because I like when I saw him play, because I knew like you guys were part of the band, and I didn't realize like who else was in it. Because I didn't even know you guys had keys. Like when I saw you guys at Chill Sounds, and I was like, that's so badass. Because I'm like, it's not a backtrack like they're doing it live.
That boy
that's
Daniel
so dope.
is sick, bro.
And then you
fills
said
up
that's
so
your
much
brother. You
space.
said
That's my brother. Yeah.
that's cool. But yeah, I saw him. I was like, that dude is killing it. I was like, I was so like impressed by that. I was like, I haven't seen like someone doing like the keys live on a band like in forever. You know what I mean? Like, but that was cool. But that rhythmic style and that's probably what grows the similarity. Like that bass like killing, like, and then your drumming is really, I don't know, just. It's catchy, and it makes you want to like just bob your head, like you're just like there, and then just like want to jam. And it's so cool. Like that's what I like. And hearing it live was like way better than I could have like imagined. Like from hearing like the music.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool live. But like, how do you?
Definitely really fun to play live.
I bet. Yeah, it definitely looks like fun to play.
Yeah.
And you guys like.
Dude, Ricky put out a drum cam. Did you see?
I saw that. Yeah. That was fucking cool.
Sick.
That was cool. And I saw him out there. I was like, what is he doing? And then I saw it come out. I was like, oh, that's what he was doing. I was like, dope.
Yeah.
But no, you guys definitely killed that set. And how did, like I said, were you guys kind of like leaning towards writing like stuff like that? Or it's something like, is that just what you normally listen to? Or is it just kind of a style that kind of...
I think like Joshua Travis is a huge influence on all of us, dude.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Nasty and Low for sure. Glass Cloud is like one of our favorite bands too, so... It just was naturally going to go that way. A lot of chaotic shit, too. Like, Dillinger.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of the bulk of the EP. You know, it started off as us, me, Moo, and my brother. So a lot of the vibes, I pretty much set out, like, initially, I was like, let's just write something ridiculously heavy. Let's, like, be super aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fun. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun to play that kind of music and super mathcore inspired. We also listen to a lot of progressive music. I mean, our tastes are all over the place. So the band is ever changing. Like this first EP is like it's perfect for our first release, but we're definitely going to change it up. And I think the shit that's to come later on is going to be for maybe a whole other audience. You know, that's really our goal is to have not really a set sound. You know, that's.
It'll keep you forever like growing in the band and craft and like make the band like become like you said, just progress and make what's the thing, build it just that way it becomes something. And if it's ever like changing, that you'll never get bored of what you're playing. Like you're always working on your current influences. Like, you know, what do I like now, instead of being like, okay, what did this sound like, let's make something else that's kind of similar to that, instead of being like, this is actually where I'm at right now, like I want to write this stuff. So that's cool that you guys are like taking that and using it like to your advantage, that your tastes and influences are ever changing. As far as like Moo, when you do your vocals, I always feel like there's like a big like hip hop influence with like your rhythms and stuff. Like it's just so dope, and I'm a fan of that, because like when I like wrote songs, I would always go to like that. I would like your like the staccato-y stuff and that like has rhythm. That's kind of what like I base like cadences. I would almost write like part of vocals like with drum beats in mind and be like, this is what I wanted to sound. And I feel like I get that a lot from like what you write.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a big rhythm guy. When I write stuff, I actually usually figure out the rhythm first and then write according to the rhythm. But yeah, I'm definitely a product of my environment, I guess. But yeah, that's one thing I've actually feel very, very grateful for with Zetabyte, is I like get to be 100% like authentically myself and how I want to go about writing and delivering. And you know, they were already my family, so you know, like they knew me and they're like all about it. So very happy. Like it's very therapeutic.
Yeah, I can imagine once you find where you don't have to accommodate like what you want to do with like someone else's like idea, where it comes together and you get to just like, oh, this is what I want to do, and it works. You know, that's so hard to find, because it's hard to find yourself what you want to do, first of all, and then it's hard to find somewhere where it fits. But I think like you guys have kind of like nailed that, like that definitely interaction between like the instrumentals and like the way the vocals like sound with it. As far as like lyrical content, what's kind of like what your basis is around?
So what specifically with this first EP, we got like so freaking like
it's a concept EP.
Okay.
so
it's
conceptual. So like on
it's like
this
some
particular
Terminator
EP,
shit. Like
honestly, it's a
all
little
right.
bit on some like lyrical, spiritual, miracle shit a little bit, but like also still like when I say like authentically me, you know, it's like still like super head ass, like I don't know where sometimes. So it's just really fun. I just really enjoy it. But for the next one, I'm definitely not gonna do
Dude,
this
one of
shit
my
again.
favorite lines ever is in 99. So you can catch me at the corner store.
yeah.
So come and catch
Moo's
me
an
at the
incredible
corner store, bitch. You
lyricist,
could
an
get
incredible
to-
vocalist. That's what's awesome about him, is that I can give him a concept. Like I came up with a story for the EP on a whim one day at work. I was like bored as fuck and like trying to be creative, and I just started writing shit out like you would write like a fucking book or like a you know prologue kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I told Moo about it, and he pretty much single-handedly wrote all the lyrics, but he wrote it in a way where it's like it's a concept album, yeah, but you can take it so many different ways too.
Okay.
Like there's different characters in the story. There's different viewpoints. So if you kind of take each song as a different perspective and kind of look at it differently and imagine the story in your head as you're like listening to it, you'll get different shit out of it for sure.
So you guys have like a root concept of what it's supposed to be, but you can also take the songs like individually and figure out your own kind of like placement of like the characters and what they actually like mean to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Like I don't know what it'd be like to work on a concept album, but that's I mean,
It's
it
really
it
fucking.
seems like fun.
It's really
like,
crazy and annoying sometimes, but but it's fucking worth it because we get to build a story, you know.
Yeah, which is, I like the idea of it because you, instead of just like the story being the one song and like the next song has nothing to do with it, kind of, and able to like relate all of them together makes your story just like that much longer. Instead of being like each song is a book, it's like each song is a chapter of like this thing, and like it builds like a world together, but individually it's got its own like little words in between. There's been definitely some concept albums that like I've enjoyed, but writing that must be like a whole nother thing because of like coming up with a story and then figuring out like what the music is going to relate to.
That's why we kind of took like a route of wanting to make visuals for it and having an idea of the way that we wanted the on-screen stuff to look. Also, is we're all just super artistic. Like we love fucking movies and film and like all kinds of music. Like we're all super ridiculously creative. So we just kind of want an outlet for every single one of those aspects. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool that you're involving, like I said, influences from all over into this project. You know what I mean? It's not just like what you're listening to, but it's what you're watching, what you're reading, and things.
Yeah, dude.
So that must be wild. But it's cool that you guys have the ability to kind of involve all of those in your project. And like you said, because you're doing it yourself, you get a lot more control over all of that and to what it's supposed to look like. You know, like I want it to look like this, or I want it to sound like this. I want this to be the story of it. So you guys have a lot more control of like how it becomes it. On movies, like, is there any specific things that were influencing this, or specifically, or anything that you, like, specific influence that you could like pinpoint to this project? Maybe
I would say there's a lot of horror influence for sure. Like, my brother, the one who plays keys, he does a lot of the big calls for like the production stuff also. But, like, he doesn't know it, but he's like secretly an amazing producer.
He doesn't know it though.
He calls all the good ideas. He always knows exactly what to put where. And he's always been super into like the 70s, 80s horror, like Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, okay.
You know, Nightmare on Elm Street, fucking Halloween is a huge, huge influence on him. So it's like we try to take that horror aspect also, because when you read the lyrics to the story, it starts to all kind of make sense. But yeah, a lot of horror influence, just a lot of just I don't know the word for it. I guess we're just improvising as we go. Like, we're just like, okay, what can we channel? What kind of vibes fit this song specifically and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like very sci-fi horror, I would say.
Sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
I'll see that. That's intriguing. I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking at like, what's the story? You know, like I'm gonna put these together. And you said like right now you don't have like a specific date for that to come out. You're just like
no, it's coming out very soon.
Soon. Okay. Cool. As far as like that project, you guys
this
planning
year
to do?
we're committing to this year.
It's coming out this year.
It's on record now. You heard it here first.
There you go.
They don't pull it. If you don't put it out, I'm just gonna play this clip on repeat. Like,
heard it here first.
you heard it here first. We got some exclusives. All right, no, fuck that. Who got the cheese, man? No, I'm just kidding.
Off camera.
Off camera over here. We got the cheese. That's cool. As far as when the project like drops, do you guys have any plans on like shows or like going on tour or doing anything like that yet?
Nothing yet. We're kind of taking it light on shows right now. Like not to say we're not going to play any shows the rest of the year. We definitely want to play shows. Yeah. But
we're just ready to like start writing the next.
Yeah. We want to finish stuff up, and we want to start working on the next chapter, and then that way next time we hit the stage, we can have some new shit to play too.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys have been like writing it for a while, I mean, this project, so it's kind of like you want to strike the creative like iron like when it's hot. So which is what a lot of people do is like they end up writing like projects that are like, a year or two like started to go, and then they release it finally.
It gets fucking like, drawn out, and you play so many shows with the same songs.
Yeah.
You're over it, but no one's fucking heard it yet. But still, you're ready for the next thing.
Do you? I mean, you guys have played for a long time. You probably get that so much with like, oh, that song is so dumb. It's like I'm so tired of listening to this song.
2020
you just played it for the first time.
Like, dude. Like 2020 was supposed to be okay. Like let's fucking hit these shows, and of course we all know how 2020 went down.
Yeah. That's the same thing with.
So it's like, all right, next chapter. Like. We don't ever want to stop the ball from rolling,
Yeah, with like my event, like with Under Oblivion, we took a year off to write, and then we were gonna play the first Chill Sounds, like the initial, like when I was coming back. That was our first show back, and then the pandemic happened, so we didn't play for like another year, and then like we were supposed to schedule like to play like Chill Sounds and like this other show to like finish it off, and fucking shit happened, and like now we didn't play it on. I'm like, fuck it, just
Fuck
put it away.
Fuck it.
But yeah, like the latest like single that we had released, both of those songs at the time of release were 3 years old. Like we were so far behind on our writing and recording and releasing, and it was our issue that we were like, we write stuff and we don't record it and put it out because we're trying to like, because we didn't have a concept of like, okay, what are we doing with these, until like I was just like, fuck it, like I don't want to worry about these anymore. I was like, they're singles, just drop them. And then we were working on a completely new project at the time that like everything kind of went to crap. But I feel like it just depends. Also with our band, I felt like, you know, we had all changed enough to like outgrow it. So we're all planning to do a new project, or we still are. As far as like, where did my train of thought go? I just completely lost it. I'm gonna find a filler question. What was the last good movie you guys saw?
Ooh,
This is a good
Let's go,
one.
John.
bro, Doctor Sleep.
You need a mic.
Doctor Sleep. Dude, Doctor Sleep, bro. It's like the sequel to The Shining.
Oh, with Ewan McGregor. I never saw that.
Wait, when did you watch that?
Like a week ago.
Bro, we fucking just watched that last night, dude. Yeah,
The extended version, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
It's so sick.
that shit was like
Dude,
3 hours, right?
3 hours.
3 hours?
For the extended version, yeah. It's on HBO Max. If you got that,
I do.
Definitely fucking recommend it. If you've seen The
tight.
Shining,
Hey, we gotta end this now.
It's
we're just gonna live watch this movie together.
It's so good, dude.
yeah, dude, it's great. Super good spiritual successor to The Shining. They go into a lot of crazy details. I was not fucking expecting the way it went, but it's fucking badass. Like,
The fucking reaction.
No, your first watch, nobody is ready for that movie. It's so good.
It's so
Holy
cool,
shit!
dude.
Now I'm excited. Now I got stuff to do. Damn.
Also, like the Marvel stuff, we just watched Shang-Chi like a week or two ago.
That shit was dope. That shit was dope, and I feel bad because I'm like, oh, I didn't like. I knew a little, like slightly. I think he appeared in some of the stuff that I had read, like some, but I didn't ever focus on him. So I'm like, I'm going into this like not knowing a lot, and it was such a good movie.
But that's
like,
how you know they're killing it, though, because no one knew that character, really. For the most part, no one knows who Shang-Chi is. But, like, the movie, the action, like, the kung fu, it spoke for itself, bro. That shit was sick.
The fight sequences,
Yeah.
both types, like the, you know, just the first fight sequence they have, but then, like, the ones that are, like, feel like they're dances and stuff, the way they were filmed, and,
I
like,
love
the
that
choreography
shit.
was so beautiful.
That's another huge thing is, like, a lot of us in Zetabyte are super influenced by, like, kung fu. I mean, we brought fighting games to the chill sounds.
You guys did.
We're all about
Fucking screen.
fighting shit, bro.
That's a
like,
screen
yeah,
behind you.
that's the one. Yeah, dude. So like seeing the actual like attention to detail in Shang-Chi and like the actual kung fu and the stances and just the way the movie like flowed, it was fucking sick. Like
That's
that
cool.
shit.
I feel like it was done very well. I feel like it kind of showed a really nice like respect toward like that type of like style and culture. But yeah, the movie was fantastic. Like I feel like it
Asians
flowed.
were
just
repping
right.
in that one for sure.
Yeah, Asians were for sure repping.
For sure. Okay, with Chill Sounds, yeah, you guys played that, and that was the first time I got to see you. No, it's the second time I saw you, but the first time was like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I'd seen you guys in a very long time. But that was I don't know, that was such a fun day. Like I felt like the fact that like how many different people like saw so many like different like types of like bands
dude,
and like stuff.
there were so
day.
many different vibes going that day. I don't think I saw one band that I was like, oh, I can pass on this, or like this is not my thing.
Everybody.
Every single band, I was feeling every single band I heard and saw that night.
It's a cool vibe, and I realized that early on, and I've mentioned this before, but like I wasn't a fan of like mixed genre shows. I would always be like, oh, especially when I was playing in a band, I was like, oh, we need to play with like people who sound similar. That way, like there are people who like might like our stuff and this and that. But what I've brought up like again and again is like I don't listen to music like all same genre all the time. Like it flips back and forth like all the time. Like that's literally how I listen to stuff. So shows that are like mixed genre and stuff are nice because you're like, oh, you get to see a lot of stuff. As long as whoever's playing is like good, and that's the thing that like DJ made sure to like to curate enough to be like, oh, like it's like I want it mixed genre, but I want these people to be like good at what they're playing. Like these are all every musician that played, we're all like fans of. You know what I mean? Like we're all like, oh, these are good. Like we can say that we want to do that, and that's another thing. It's like, oh, we want to be able to help and bring new fans to people who maybe wouldn't go to that show normally and be able to catch something that they didn't. And then all around it was just a really nice day. You know what I mean? Like I think people
Yeah, dude, the weather was beautiful. The food was great. Like everyone was happy.
Dude,
like you know what I'm
ramen
saying?
truck was so good.
the ramen, man, the ramen. We just ate there earlier at Kintaro. Shout out Kintaro. Which is again I think they were even talking about that. I think they sold out of like all the ramen, and I'm
That's
like, it was hot ass
crazy,
day,
bro.
and everybody like
Still,
ate that
People were
shit up.
fucking
You know
with
what I
it,
mean?
yeah.
Like because like I felt like people were just out there to have a fun time and have a good time, and I feel like they did.
Dude, it felt like a mini Warped Tour. Like there was
Yeah.
a skate
Yeah.
ramp,
I
like,
did- literally, I was saying like, dude, I haven't felt like this way at a festival since I was like fucking 15 at Warped Tour. Like, just happy, good vibes.
yeah,
that's
it
what.
was sick.
That's
That-
what you. That's like what.
Because
today's
that's what I
about.
remember. Like I didn't like go to Warped Tour every year. I went to like 2, but that's what I remember being the fun part. Because I would go for like 2 bands at the time. Because it's like it's literally right as I was getting into like that genre of music and things like that to be open. So like my first like actual show seeing anything like kind of like pop punk or like heavy hardcore was Warped Tour, and I went for like I think 2 bands, and I walked around and saw like all these things. My first mosh pit that I've ever been into was to a ska band. It was Real Big
Shit.
Fish, dude. And like that was the first time I ever jumped into something, and I'm like, oh, like this is fun, and that's what I remember like Warped Tour being like. Not all like I know
It's like
like
that
the
sense of
genres-
discovery. When you go to a normal
Yeah.
show, you know, okay, all these bands are gonna be like heavy, or all these bands are gonna be this or that. But when you go to mixed genre or like a festival, it's like you get to find new music and new people and new vibes. You know that you don't know, that it kind of puts everyone out of their comfort zone.
Exactly, and then in turn makes you comfortable to something new. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's that like transitionary like period. It gets you to be like, oh, I wasn't here to this. Like this is weird, and then realize like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Like something that maybe you've closed yourself off to, kind of thing. Which is the goal of Chill Sounds, and which is continuing to be the goal. So we like saw how much we could mix it up, and how like DJs like next year it's got to be like even more. Like I want way different people to show up to this,
Yeah.
and all over, because that's kind of what creates that sense, and will like help people to go to something and meet like new people and just talk. Like, but all of it felt like just a really like nice hangout day, and then like the having like the skate ramps and stuff was cool. Like
That- dude,
like
that
that
was
must
the
have been
fucking
bad. Like
ice- that was
playing
the
music
icing
and
on
seeing
the
like
cake,
them
bro.
skating and
That
shit like
shit
that in the
was sick.
background was so. I must have been so cool. I'm like, this is great.
It was like
literally.
real life Tony Hawk, bro. Like you
Really?
know, it's
Like, they have their
people
soundtrack
skating,
playing.
You got the badass music and shit, dude.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. We're definitely glad that you guys were a part of that and hanging out. I know,
Yeah,
like
man.
I said, we've known each other for years, and then like I know, like I think we became friends like on Facebook, and like I see your stuff like posts all the time, and that's why when like it was so funny because that's what I felt like the entire time. Like I've seen all these people,
Dude, yeah, you
and
meet
don't
your
know them,
internet
but-
friends. Like,
yeah, that's what. It was literally. I was like, I'm meeting my internet
Yeah,
friend,
dude.
because I remember like I literally I don't think I've really talked to you, and you like pulled up, and I was like, I know him, and like I'm gonna call him by name. I don't care if
Yeah.
it's gonna be weird. Like, I was like, geez, like yeah, go hang out over here. But I kept like seeing that. I was like, oh, these are people that I've seen like met from afar, that they're playing music, and especially over the last year, that like even new people that you're meeting or seeing, and like all these like new music popping up, and it's like, well, I haven't like ever seen these people or like this and
Yeah.
that. So it was a good introduction to that. It was definitely the right attitude to have to that.
Dude.
And after the year and a half that everyone's had, it felt like such a nice like time to come back, especially with like concerts and stuff like coming
I
back.
didn't know how good familiarity could feel, bro. Like
Yeah.
Right?
seeing somebody like still grind, like, oh, you made it out too, bro. Like,
No, and it's one of the things that
I
I've
know a
realized.
lot of people who gave it up, bro. So
A lot of people, and it's
and respect, dude. That's what you choose to do. Like, be happy, bro. But I don't think I could ever do that, bro.
it's different, and like people change their circumstances, and I don't think they ever like really want to let it go, especially the people that love it. It's just like circumstance. Like sometimes you get it, you kind of have to make decisions, and
It's
you're
all a
out of
timing
it.
thing,
Yeah,
man. Timing thing.
it's not talent. It's definitely not lack of talent, because like in my life around here, I've seen some of like the greatest like
Dude.
bands pop up, and it's just like circumstance and like stuff. Like some of my favorite bands like have gone away and not made it, even though like they're good. Like I always talk about. I remember Hollow Elf. Like I used to love Hollow Elf, and like they were so good. And then like whatever happened, and like they all just dissipated. But there's been a bunch of those bands like that have come up, and stuff happens and it just doesn't work out. But to see like the same people, maybe the band.
Oblivion fool.
R.I.P. man, R.I.P.
Nice.
Yeah, even us. You know what I mean? But that like, and with that, I'm a little bit.
What's one of your favorite bands that didn't work out?
That didn't work out. That's one, but let me see. Not mine. Mine was supposed to die. I was happy. That I think I remember Visions, which I like that like Animal Jam is a thing now because like I'm a really big fan.
I love Animal Jam.
Dude, shout out Jesse Hildebrand. This is sick drummer.
Yes, sir.
Sick.
Yeah, so that's like where I got, because like I love like that dude's vocals and Visions. I still don't really know him, but I'm always like, that dude's really good. What other band? There's been a bunch.
Yeah, for me, bro,
I can't
this
remember.
band called Adalia.
Dahlia?
Adalia was they're from Florida, bro, and like the 2014 album, it came out on Media Scare. It was called Shedding Skin, bro. Like if you haven't checked that shit out, you should, man. It's so badass. The guitarist Austin and the drummer went on to be in this band called Prison. They're still around today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Adalia, dude. I so wish I could have seen that last show that they had. They did like a farewell show in Florida, and it was with I Am, Varials. I forgot who else was on that show, but it was like super crazy.
Damn, it was a fucking heavy ass show.
Yeah, dude. I missed it.
Tear.
Yeah, that's always sad, man. I hate like being into a band and then they don't work out, but it also really sucks finding a band years later after they've
broke
been
up.
fucking not a band for like 10 plus years. And
There's
you're
no
like,
heartbreak
you're
like it,
dude,
man.
what? You're like, dude, this band needs to come back. Like,
that was me when let's see, I've had so many of those. One was when I first started getting into like stuff. I think I found Emarosa when Johnny was in it, and then but I didn't know he was in Dance Gavin Dance before, and I'm like, what is this? And it's like, and he's like had already got kicked out of like 2 bands like by then, so I was like, fuck, I never like got to see that like live, and he never did again, even after all like the whatever mixed stuff they had. That I think I was Lower Definition I found after they broke up. I know they're like coming back and stuff like that, so I'm excited about that.
Shit.
But like that first album, like I really love. But like that's the worst feeling when you find something and it's like, oh, they don't do anything anymore. I was like, oh, there's like no hope of seeing them live, because live music is just something else, man.
Yeah,
like
dude.
there's no other
feeling
feeling.
like it,
There's
bro.
no feeling whether you're playing or listening. I've had just the same emotion doing both. Like when you play, just get lost in that moment, and I feel like it's the corniest feeling and the corniest thing to say and be like, oh, it's just like, you're just up there in time, it doesn't feel like anything. But unless you are a musician and you've done that before, you don't get what that is. And like I said, even though it sounds cheesy to other people, like if you say it to another musician, like they know exactly what you're talking about because they've been through that. But even like listening to live music, like now that like we're allowed to do it, you realize how amazing that is. Not only like seeing like bands, but also like the social aspect of it. Like there's a lot of people. That's why Chill Sounds was really fun for me, because I'm like, I didn't realize how many of these people that I would see consistently because we were going to shows together.
Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't hang out like outside and this and that, but I'd know and be like, oh, if we go to the show, I'll see them there. I'll talk to them there. Yeah. And going that long without that, realizing it's like, wow, like I haven't talked to these people in forever because like we used to like
you're just
talk
so
at live
used to
shows.
going to shows.
Yeah, there was
every
no
weekend,
reason to
every
like
other
really
weekend.
like hang like find like extra time to be like, oh, I need to find ways to hang out. We would see each other all the time like because of shows. So I think it's something we've learned to kind of appreciate a little bit more as like an audience member and as like a musician like yourself. But no, I think we're up to some kind of interesting projects here. Chill Sounds is definitely gonna keep going. I'm glad that you guys got to stop by here and talk to me.
Thank you guys for the
today.
opportunity. Thanks for inviting us here.
No, absolutely. I'll invite you guys back. When you guys release the EP, let me know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we actually released the single because we were like so happy about the reception we got at Chill Sounds.
Really?
Chaos
Yeah,
Magic,
it was like
yeah.
actually a conscious thing. We were like, yo, like people were feeling our set. Let's just fucking release the song. Like,
That was, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. But yeah, I mean, you guys definitely were received well. And like I said, even my girlfriend isn't into heavy music at all, and she like fucked with your guys' set like a lot. She's like that shit like that sounded good, and I'm like, okay, that's good. Like you don't like this. I'm like, this is great.
Man.
Thank you,
But like I
girlfriend.
think it's just again like the attitude that you guys bring up to the fact that you guys are just having a good time up there, the fact that you guys are in that moment, like that's what it felt like. I was standing like right in the front, like in front of like where Moo was. I was like, I want to be in this dude's face, like I want to see this. But you were I mean, just like it's gonna be right here. But
Goddamn, dude.
but no, I'm not surprised that like kind of like influenced you guys to kind of put that out, because like yeah, people are definitely like feeling you guys' set, and I've had people ask me about like, I was like, hey, what band was this? He's like, I remember Moo was wearing the yellow like jersey thing, like they were calling, like, what was that band? And I was like, oh, it's Zetabyte. And I'm like, I've been
That was
telling
me
you.
all day with other bands
so
too.
much
Like,
of
yo,
the,
who was
like,
that one band who played?
The management team kept calling me the guy in the yellow, like, the guy in the yellow shirt, the guy in the yellow shirt.
But yeah, like I've been like just telling people, like, oh, this man. But I like that that's a big question that I've been getting because of that factor, like you were going to see something else and you found something you liked.
Yeah,
and it's like,
dude.
so I've been like answering, like, oh, it's this and that. That's why that's why like this, we decided to keep this going, like the podcast going, and because originally it was just going to be a few episodes to promote like some of the artists on the festival that I was going to get to. And then once like I realized like how fun it was to talk to people, and then how like, oh, it's nice. I'm like, oh, this can actually like do something, you know
It's
what I mean?
sick,
Like
man.
it's
Yeah.
cool like to help, because I mean other than like you know bands at like our level and this and that, you know, when's the next time you're gonna get a chance to like just talk about everything like you're putting out? At shows you get a little bit. Other than that, you get your own promotion. So I'm like, oh, I want to be able to like, and plus like on the selfish side, I get to hear about all this shit. You know what I mean? Like I get
Yeah.
to talk to you and like pick brains about like what are you working on? What is this? Blah blah.
Yep.
So it's just definitely a fun platform, and it's what we want to keep like our social media doing. That's why like anybody who played, and like I'm even like trying to get more artists to just like share as much information and highlight more stuff, because as far as like I said, talent here in our area, because I consider like our local scene to be like all of DFW, and
Yeah.
there's so much like music and art and talent around here that
Yeah,
that
dude.
that there's no like end to it. Like by the time you reach the end, there's been a bunch more that have popped up. Coming up, so it's definitely again, like I said, I'm glad that you guys were a part of it. I'm glad that you guys got to play chill sounds with us, and again, appreciate you guys stopping by today to talk on the podcast. I don't know if you guys want to plug anything, your socials or anything. Either way, they'll be at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, again, I appreciate you guys stopping by. And oh man, I ran out of steam.
Thank you, man.
I'm like,
Appreciate
man,
you.
but no, yeah, thank you guys for coming by.
Dude, thank you.
Why are you looking at me like this?
Fast